What is your name? What do you do? And how long have you been in Argentina?
My name is Ksenia. Unfortunately, what I do now is wait until I can leave this country. Because I am being held here against my will.
What did you do before you came to Argentina? Your economic activity. What was your work experience?
I spent my entire life in business. I worked in corporations. I promoted brands at the international level. I own property in Moscow that I rent out. So everything that is happening here is nonsense and absurdity that I still cannot comprehend. How something like this can even be possible. All my life, I worked for companies and for the state, earning money in the hope that I could provide for my old age and live wherever I wanted.
Toda mi vida yo he trabajado para el gobierno y también para diferentes empresas, ganando dinero y pensando que cuando pues viene la edad yo puedo pasar en el lugar donde yo quiero.
I am 50 years old.
Tengo 50 años.
And all my life, I have been a person who follows the law, follows rules, and lives by a corporate code of conduct. I could afford to travel to any country at any time and stay at any resorts. And what is happening now? That I have been held in Argentina for 9 months without any facts, evidence, or explanations is absurd. Honestly, I no longer have the strength to endure this and keep waiting while nothing happens.
El hecho de que me están sosteniendo en Argentina sin ninguna culpa, sin nada, sin pruebas, ya no tengo más fuerzas de aguantar, entendiendo que nada está pasando ni progrediendo.
When were you detained? When did the police approach you and what did they accuse you of?
А в какой момент вас задержали? Вот полиция к вам когда подошла и в чем вас обвинили?
It was in March 2025.
Fue en marzo 2025.
I was detained on the street. A man approached me out of uniform, not in police uniform. Forced me to hand over my passport and phone, and did not allow me to call my relatives so I could at least understand what was happening. He completely restricted my actions.
So you were not detained at the airport?
No, I was in Bariloche.
Were you planning to travel anywhere?
The next day, I was supposed to fly to Uruguay. Yes, I had a ticket. I wanted to relax at resorts my friends had recommended. I had a ticket. As a result, I lost the ticket, lost money, lost a good vacation. And became stuck in a country that is holding me without documents, violating my constitutional rights, and not allowing me to live a full life. Considering that I am a foreigner and have my rights, everything that is happening is complete lawlessness.
Who were you living with in Bariloche?
I arrived alone. I wanted to ski at the resort and walk in the mountains. I have traveled all my life. I can afford it. I love alpine skiing. I have skied at resorts all over Europe and in America. I was told Bariloche has excellent resorts. I went to San Martin. I rented a car and drove there simply because I wanted to. I love beautiful nature and quality recreation. I can afford it. Being accused now under some incomprehensible article about selling people is nonsense. Complete absurdity. Just look at me. Why would I?
Were you asked whether you might be a victim of Konstantin Rudnev?
Do I look like a victim? How could I be a victim? How could I sell people?
Because some detainees were asked whether they were victims.
I think this is all theater. Theater of the absurd. This trata de personas topic seems like a kind of national instrument, a pretext for manipulating people. I learned about this law only in Argentina. Apparently, it is very popular because it gives anyone the right to stop a person on the street and say, "You are trafficking someone." There are countless stories online. A mother sells her daughter, a daughter sells her mother. They are forbidden to communicate. Anyone can be accused. It is impossible to prove, but it creates a dramatic story to frighten people, to put them into stress, and to control and manipulate entire societies. In Russia, for example, in Russia, people are afraid of sects. In America, people are frightened. In Latin American countries, people are frightened with these vague human trafficking accusations. I first heard about selling people only here in Argentina. What sense would it make for me to sell people if I have income from my business? Where would I sell them? Whom would I sell? It is complete nonsense.
The court claims that RT was allegedly going to be sold or exploited, and that is what you are being accused of.
I don't understand what is happening. There are strange manipulations in the court itself and among the prosecutors. In all this time, 8 months, I have not once been allowed to speak. I have not been allowed to speak in my own defense. At the same time, no one mentions that at the first hearing, when Judge Villanova gave me the floor, I spoke and I was acquitted. Why was I acquitted? Because a specific person, me, was given the chance to explain what happened and how it happened. I told everything truthfully and honestly. He looked and said, "Yes, this is absurd. It is illogical." After that, it seems someone needed to allocate or spend a budget.
Y después parece que alguien simplemente necesitaba una justificación, lo que hizo con el dinero que le dieron para una
Then came strange manipulations, false testimony, and other schemes.
Y empezaron estas manipulaciones, empezaron a buscar algunas personas que parece que dicen algo, todas estas cosas falsas que están armando.
Yet, I was never given the floor
Pero a mí no
again.
me permitían decir en mi defensa.
What do other organizations tell you when you explain your situation to them? What is their opinion?
А что вам говорят другие организации, когда вы им рассказываете об этой ситуации? Какое их мнение?
Honestly,
Es con honestidad?
just 2 days ago, one human rights organization
Una de las organizaciones, su misión es la protección de los derechos de la mujer.
told me that until 2024, Argentina was a different country.
Antes del 2024, Argentina era otro país.
Now, it is not the same country. It used to be. I think you understand what I mean.
Como yo no conozco, pero pienso que ustedes entienden sobre qué yo digo.
They told me, if you have the chance, leave and take us with you.
Ellos dijeron a ella, si tú tienes la oportunidad, por favor, vate y lleva a nosotros también.
People in Argentina are humane, sincere, and emotional. And in fact,
Y no entiendo por qué las personas en Argentina son tan humanitarias, tan como tienen compasión, intentan entender y ayudarte.
many are against the system that is now destroying lives.
Y todas son contra del sistema que ahora está eliminando y matando gente.
It is like millstones grinding destinies and lives.
Es como un molino, como una máquina, una picadora que simplemente digiere y rompe los destinos de las personas.
I see that people no longer want to tolerate this.
Y yo puedo ver, dice que la gente que vive acá también ya no quiere aguantar más esto.
I understand that I am a foreigner and ended up in this situation by chance.
Extranjera, fue una casualidad que yo estoy en esta situación.
What is happening in Argentina is far more global
Pero ahora lo que veo, lo que pasa en Argentina es un proceso más global
than just my personal case.
que simplemente algún caso particular que es mío.
I found myself inside this meat grinder of lives and system.
Un caso muy infeliz que yo entré por casualidad en este sistema que rompe vidas.
When the system, instead of protecting people, destroys them.
Al revés de proteger gente, las mata.
And no one will silence me anymore. I will speak about this, write about it, and give interviews. I will not stop, and I will not allow this to happen anymore.
Traten así, yo voy a hablar, yo voy a dar entrevistas, yo voy a seguir adelante porque no quiero permitir esto ocurrir más.
Muchas gracias.